What's up, everybody? It is Chelney here with another Classic Mega Breakdown highlight. With me, I got Fast at CC.
Hello, how you doing?
Yo, good, good. I got Dark Terex,
Hi.
and we got Jokaah,
Hello.
and yeah,
Hi.
and yeah, this is gonna be kind of fun. My voice is mostly back. I'm, I still feel a little ill.
But you're not in death right now.
Yeah, so I hopefully I won't have to like scream in order for the audience to hear me. Last week was pretty rough for sure. So man, you're back from ESA now. How did you feel about the event overall?
It was much better than last year. The tech issues last year, I think, had everybody down,
Right.
even the people that wasn't there for the stream mainly. Plus the room layout was just much better. We had more room, we had more TVs, we had better PCs to practice on.
Nice.
Everything was just a step up, I feel like.
Like I haven't gotten to one obviously, but like every time I see the pictures and they have like that big sort of room, it almost looks like it's in like a hockey rink kind of.
It is like indoor land hockey.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what you call
okay.
it.
Like a floor hockey kind of arena.
Yeah, sure. Basically, the whole area around there is just a bunch of arenas.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yeah, they have the ice hockey arena and football arena and so on.
Okay.
Or
Oh,
soccer,
so multiple.
sorry.
So like the
Uh,
practice room and everything is sort of all one big area then, right?
Exactly. The practice. There isn't really a practice room.
Right.
Like, there's just a bunch of TVs there. Anyone can use them. Obviously, you can chase people away if you need to practice for a run.
Yeah.
But it's not like AGDQ where you have a separate or multiple separate rooms. But this year we had the other like big, I don't want to say arena, but big room next door as well,
Right.
or at least half of it. There was a Smash tournament going on there first 2 days, I think, and then we got pretty much everything. Which we had the watermelon controls in there, for
Right,
instance.
yeah. I keep
And a bunch
seeing
of PC
pictures for
gamers.
that.
I think that's the fourth year we had those, or
Yeah, it's
something
like kind of
similar.
something ESA is known for at this point.
It's just Nisse or Nis 3 that's behind the weird controller setups.
I like the random stuff that shows up. Like I know, like with Omni Gamer and his mashing test, which I completely missed at GDQ. It'd be nice to see more of that kind of stuff pop up at GDQ also.
And they didn't have any rules against side streams at ESA. Like anyone that could like set up a stream was allowed to. So there was the watermelon controller stream. There was an arcade stream that was all just running for the first few days, and probably a bunch of more streams I don't even know about. So that's was one of my main feedbacks is that next year maybe you can like add those in between games instead of making the hosts kill time or try to kill time.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
kind
and
of
it's weird. A lot of times they had like a second stream going too, and they still, there was kind of a lot of just like host banter trying to kill time.
Yeah, that's really weird. That was one of my main feedbacks is just show the other streams. There's a lot of stuff happening. We
yeah.
don't need to watch people talk about the emoji movie.
Yeah, especially since there was definitely a point where they were out of stuff to talk about.
Yep.
So, what kind of things were going on in the practice room at ESA? Like, from far away, I heard some stuff about like Mega Maker and then like Legacy Collection 2. Like, I know a lot of people were talking about that, but
Oh yeah. The Mega Maker was mainly the first couple of days. Like I watched Cool Kid and Andy trying to beat Mega Hell stages from the Cherry Point, and yeah, Spiriax mainly like making stages and having people play them. I didn't participate in that at all. Also, the Legacy Collection too. I was so surprised because that was like right after the Mayman block, and we went out, and I saw on my phone that I got a mail with a a code. I'm like, what? How? How did they get my email?
That was my exact words also.
Yeah. So I didn't play any Legacy Collection at ESA. I know Cool Kid, Ayarmar, BT, Soda played some. Aina played some as well.
I played a little bit, and I kept seeing Cool Kid's account better than me on like everything pretty much, except for something. I beat him in something for sure. I can't remember what it was. I did it.
I tried it a little bit this Monday when I was home. First day I was home. I think I got all the like 7 challenges records, except maybe 1. And then I started on the 8 challenges, and I was like, I don't want to play 8, and then I closed it.
Yeah.
The input lag is really not bad at all.
That was something that I definitely noticed. I was like, this is playable. This is not like the first one.
I had to use Joy to Key because my SNES controller adapter didn't get recognized by the game apparently, so I used Joy to Key, and it still worked fine.
I still don't really know how much we're allowed to still talk about it, but I can definitely say that I was underwhelmed by the I was underwhelmed by the challenges. The stage mixes, like they didn't put like any forethought into it. We'll see.
I haven't played Legacy Collection 1, so I can't compare.
Yeah, the first one had a lot of like really short snippets of levels, and like in general there were, you know, maybe like 7 or 8 levels in one challenge that had like maybe 1 or 2 streams.
The problem with that though is that they ended up reusing like the same clip over and over again. So it was like, oh, okay, so you find by the time you got to like the 6 challenges, because I had the first 6 games, it was like, I've already played through this MM1 and MM2 segment like on every other challenge leading up to this point. Like, choose a different segment.
That's the thing with this though, is the challenges are unrelated based on the games in 2. So you don't ever have that issue where it's like you're playing the Mega Man 10 challenges, you're not going to have to play through 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah, there's not the multi-game mixes that the first one had.
Yeah, it's just individual games, and they just take like half of a stage for like 3 stages, and then compile it together, and it's like, really? Like, I might as well just play the game.
But you have all the weapons, so it messes up your fast weapon switching.
It's true. Mega Man 10 is impossible, dude.
What is fast weapon switching?
Something you'll learn about.
Anyway, so next week we can probably go into a lot more detail with it. I know the 8th, I believe, is when people can start streaming it, so that'll be early this coming week. I guess other than that, right now 12-hour challenges started. I don't know how many of the Mega Man guys have started yet. I haven't got any time to actually sit down and like pull Twitch up, really. There was about 10 people picking up Mega Man stuff. Like you're
a lot of 9 and 10.
Point.
Yeah, I looked through the list actually yesterday before going to bed. Just look like Control F Mega Man.
Yep.
It's quite a few.
I actually think that this is more than I've seen in a 12-hour challenge before.
Someone was doing Mega Man Legends too. I can't imagine why, but all right.
I didn't see that one. I don't know. Like, has anybody seen any of them streaming yet? I haven't yet.
But... I looked at the community, it is a community now, right? On Twitch. But I didn't see anyone. I saw the Mega Man Legends 2 guy.
Okay.
Nothing else, I think.
When this episode airs, it'll already be Sunday, so maybe some of them will already be done. But if you are still looking for some potential classic Mega out there, and you are catching this early enough, you might be able to find somebody still streaming it. And then the MMM big race that Tonic was organizing is coming up, and it's starting next week. Did any of you guys like think you would join that at any point?
Yes.
No.
We had a team. Apparently the only team. Apparently the only team as well.
Yeah,
I think.
Oh, really?
There were a lot of people that decided to take this upon themselves to try to do it by themselves.
Yeah, I think most people thought like, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do the whole thing, not just part of it. But yeah, we were gonna have me, Hetfield, and Lewis.
Oh, okay, yeah, the dream team there. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
but Lewis couldn't make it,
Oh,
and Hetfield couldn't learn all the games in time.
right. So for anybody
So,
that doesn't know, there's a race coming up next week. It's a race that combines Mega Man 1 through 10 Classic, Mega Man X 1 through X8, and Mega Man 0 1 through 4, and they're going to race them all back to back to back to back to back. This was organized by Tonic like how many months ago?
At least like 4 months, I think.
Something
Yeah,
like
this-
that. It was earlier this year.
yeah.
And the idea is that you can either do them all yourself. I think they force you to take breaks between the main game, like the main switches, like between Classic and X and 0. Or you can go in as a team where one person plays Classic, one person plays X, and one person plays the 0 games. It's pretty cool idea. It's a lot of games, it's a lot of content. And there's been a few people like Orsa and Trogdor who've been putting a lot of work into the games. I know Orsa's been working at this pretty much since it was announced. Learning
Orsa
this
is
game.
definitely the main favorite to win,
And
I would say.
Yeah, I would agree with you, I think, on that. Orsa's preparation has been
He's
pretty-
just solid
pretty
everywhere.
Yeah.
I don't know where you get the that kind of stamina from. I do one Mega Man 1 to 10 run every 2 years.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's
'cause
enough.
The estimate for this whole thing is probably like in the 24 to 30 hour range, right?
I think the sum of best is like somewhere between 15 and 20.
Oh, really? It's that low.
Oh,
Yeah,
Right, but
low.
if you're not used to it,
yeah.
I mean, that's pretty impressive to me.
But
Like
like the
sub
majority
20 is probably the goal or the
Right.
dream, the dream goal. Knowing
Yeah, I
which
think-
ones you can play blind and which ones you can like take it easy on is probably a big deal.
Yeah, like Trog
Yeah.
was kind of talking like he's probably just gonna like mostly kind of casual his way through 4 and 6, I think.
Yeah.
Just like he feels confident in at least being able to beat those games in like a reasonable amount of time without having to drill into it. And so I'm sure there's some of that. I don't know. Ursa might be just well prepared for all of them because, like you said, he's been putting a ton of work into it.
You know, the interesting thing about this race is in the rules, Tonic allowed Anniversary Collection, which surprised me a little bit because, you know, obviously there's no lag involved. But I don't think any of these guys picked up Anniversary Collection version. So, like, everybody's going to be playing
Maybe
on
for 7 and 8.
Maybe, yeah. But I thought that was kind of interesting. Like, I expected maybe some people to try to learn on Anniversary Collection to maybe go faster, but in the end, I
Are
don't
you
think
allowed?
people were.
Are you allowed to change the orders of the games?
No, you had to play them in the correct order.
Yeah, when Tonic announced it, I wasn't really sure how many people would, take up the challenge solo, but it seems like it's going to be a pretty large field of people that are at least going to attempt it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know for myself when I first read it, I was like, is this something that I would be able to do? Like, and I was like, I probably could, but do I want to devote that much time toward it? Because that's a lot of work, and if you're gonna do it, like, you basically got to start doing it back when it was announced, like Orsa did, because it's like I said, it's so much content, so you got to prepare.
Yeah, especially when like more than half of the run is like brand new to you.
Yeah, you above all else probably know, like, trying to remember stuff that you learn. Like, you better learn strats that are not overly difficult to remember, because otherwise you're gonna be getting into stations like, wait, which game is this? Like, I don't remember.
Yeah,
where
we
I'm
see this.
going.
We see the same thing with the Big 20. Like, you just got to cram for something, and then when the race comes around, you don't necessarily. Things that were easy when you were practicing it 2 weeks ago are not easy now that you've learned 10 new games.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it's a little bit different because I think it's only like 2 of the games I played just to be able to do 1 to 10. I just wanted decent times in all of the games, individually first, and then I was like, oh, I might as well do 1 to 10. I just need to learn 6
Yeah.
first. But yeah, it's when there's so many and they span over such a long time, you have to prioritize.
Yeah, I find it interesting to see like a couple people leaving like learning 0 for last, because that seems to me like the most complex of the games, like just based on the mechanics of them.
Probably. I mean, there's only 4 of them, so probably they just figure Oh, it's at the
Yeah,
end.
maybe that's true.
Keep it at the end, and then you keep your muscle memory fresher, maybe.
Because like the classic games are pretty simple and straightforward, and a lot of times, like if you don't have to worry about stage rewards and
The zero games are at the very end, so you've been playing for like at least 15 hours, let's say.
Yeah.
So are you
yeah,
how big strats are you gonna be able to like execute at that point?
yeah, and I mean, I guess it's better to have that fresher in your muscle memory if you're going to be that exhausted. Man, imagine restreaming it because like someone's kind of probably going to beat it with a time of like 40 hours.
Well, that's the thing. Someone was asking about it being restreamed, and I don't think that anybody has stepped up and said, "I'll do it." I thought about it at one point, and there's no way I can commit that much time anyway.
But like maybe setting up just a stream, like obviously no commentary, at least not for the whole thing. Just setting up a stream that just runs. But
Yeah.
how would you handle like switching between streams and so on?
Yeah, like when someone finishes and plugging somebody else in, like it would need at least a little bit of attention.
I almost feel like you would have to get to a point where it's like, look, I'm restreaming X runners here, and well, not Mega Man X runners, but like these runners here, and then when they finish, that's it. Like you almost need to have a cutoff just for yourself, because otherwise, who knows when you'd be done. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens, but I believe that is on the 12th, so that's coming up next week.
Yeah, looking forward to that. That should be fun.
Speaking of things that are coming up, do we know when there's going to be signups for this
Oh man,
this relay?
Soon.
Yeah.
When did we agree on the date?
It was early September, right?
I think September 9th was the date that was thrown out there.
That sounds right. Yeah, I unfortunately won't be able to participate, but that's all right. I'm pretty excited to see another relay happen. And
so the idea of this one is running it backwards, right?
Yes.
Starting with Mega Man 10.
Because the last one didn't happen. So yeah.
yeah,
Hopefully we get more signups this time.
It should be really interesting for the people that run like. I mean, first of all, just getting new people into it that weren't able to participate, obviously, because it was too late for now.
How long has this been since the last one?
The last one we did was like November or something last year, but I could be wrong.
No, it wasn't that late. I think it was earlier than that.
Earlier than that.
Yeah.
Then I think it was last August or September, if it was earlier.
I think we're pretty close to a year. Maybe not quite. Oh, good. The beauty
Yeah, it looks
of
like it was
editing.
November.
November?
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well then, cut.
There we go, yeah.
Cut,
November.
so I don't sound like an idiot.
Get owned.
There we go. Hey man.
November 13th.
All right, there you go. Terex with the memory on. Look at the brain on Terex.
Freaking Terex.
It's not even a year yet. It's
Yeah, no. So it's
plenty of time.
yeah. So that's not too terrible.
Hopefully we have a lot of new people joining now. It's always fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's one of the things that's been nice actually. Like I'm like if I can't do it, it's not that big of a deal because there's so many people that play these games and like are currently playing them. So like there's a lot of potential runners here.
The community just
true.
seems to keep on growing.
And don't forget the real reason we have it backwards this time.
So BT will join.
Exactly.
Mr. Mega Man 9 and 10 world record holder.
I cannot wait to see the anchors for these teams in Mega Man 1.
Can't wait for Sweden to be finishing up in Mega Man 1 at 3 in the morning.
It's going to be interesting just because of obviously we've always had that soft lock rule, right? Where if somebody soft locks, we restart the race. But I mean, in this case, it's like, well, it's at the end, so.
Oh no, we're gonna restart the race this time.
Oh, okay, good.
Oh, okay.
Keep it
just once.
true.
Like, all right, wake
Only one
up,
time.
BT.
It's gonna be interesting.
Yeah.
And then the relay after this is gonna be the not main categories relay race.
Maybe be pulling out some Buster onlys and some.
Yeah, I feel it's gonna be like Buster only for most of the games because they
Yeah.
don't have any other categories.
Mega Man 4, 100%. Go get the wire.
Mega Man 6 has 100%, which is I feel like the next best choice. But I guess it's only like 3 and 4 that has to be Buster only, more or less.
Yeah.
Unless you really want to get the wire and call it 100%.
No,
really wanna get the
that's,
wire.
That's
that's
lame.
kinda
Wait, what
lame.
would you do for Mega Man 5? Beatless?
Beatless, yeah.
Oh, wow.
And for Rockman and 40, it's gonna be 40 low percent.
Those boss fights are going to be riveting.
You have no idea how hard some of the bosses are if you have only Buster and no like shop improvement things.
Oh, I bet. That
Oh,
sounds
I
like
bet.
In the practice at ESA, I died to Burman. I only had horrible practice runs, and I died to Burner Man in one of them and ran out of Ice Wall. I was like, all right, I just buster him, and it's impossible. It's like
Yeah.
one of the hardest things to do.
He has so many moves. Like,
Yeah, and he has so many
different
moves that just covers half of the screen. It's like you can't run anywhere, even with the dash jump, double jump. You can't. So I had people try it. We had a little challenge.
things.
What's funny is like listening to some people who it's like, oh, we're doing it in reverse order. Oh man, that means I got to stay up or I've got to get up early, and I'm like, I am smack dab in the middle of this thing. My time doesn't change. It's perfect.
It'd be fun seeing
yeah.
like Rockman 2 towards the end of it with all the pressure on, because like it's a really
Yeah.
stressful
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, 2 and 1 is gonna be like
That's gonna be
rough.
everybody's gonna be on the edge of their seat, like panicking about every zip.
Makes me really interested to play 3 with it being so close to the end rather than beginning, just because I don't know, it definitely changes the dynamic when you're getting so close to the end, and I think it's probably a little bit more pressure.
I think 3, like, you probably don't have to approach too differently, but like 2 and 1, there's definitely some stuff in there that you would probably want to maybe second guess maybe.
Man, the
Like-
2 runners don't tend to cut too much out.
Yeah.
It's gonna be nice, like starting with 10, and then in 9, every team is like 1 second apart from each other.
Yeah.
10 runners are always close every time.
Yeah, those opening games are going to be probably really, really close. Like, all the teams should be.
We might as well just pull it out at the relay. There's no reason to have it.
Yeah.
You can't really pull out 9 though, because no matter how consistent the runners are, the game isn't.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about your ESA runs, by the way? I thought Rockman and Forte went really well.
Yeah, it went really well. Like as I said, I only had horrible practice runs. Like I was so nervous. I was so set. Like this is gonna be a disaster. I think the best practice run I had was like a 37:59 or something, where I died multiple times in auto scholars and horrible things. But yeah, the run went really well. I think I had one unintentional death. That's it.
You were talking about dying in the auto scroller, and then you scared me in Tengu.
Oh yeah, of course. Full control there, I promise.
Oh,
Getting
sure.
caught by the cloud is always. But I got the king zip first try,
Yeah.
and I got the coin zip first try, sort of.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
But that also
zips.
means that people still think that zips in Rockman and Forte are very easy. Because I wish I could fail one of them like 10 times and then get it so people can see.
I was just gonna say, yeah, you guys make those zips look a lot easier. I actually, Orsa showed me how to do zips in Rockman and Forte at GDQ, and like it's not at all simple.
Yeah, I had ESA 2 years ago when I was doing 100 CDs. I showed it to Ayarmor and Cool Kid, and I think Ayarmor tried like he didn't give up either, which is kind of nice. But I think he attempted at least 50 or something before he got into the wall. And then of course Cool Kid is Cool Kid, so he got it very quickly.
Yeah, that guy's something else.
I can't even like explain how to do it to someone. It's like, yeah, you throw the ice wall and then you sort of push against the ice wall at the random point afterwards, and then it magically zips you into the
Just
wall.
let your thumbs do the work, and then you're in the wall. Easy.
And if you fail it, you have no idea why. So like, I think I was a little bit early.
Yeah, that seems pretty common too with just non 8-bit games. Like it's just so easy to see stuff happen in the 8-bit Mega Man games. I don't know what it is.
Exactly. I mean, in 1 and 2, I said it multiple times, but in 1 and 2, you always know exactly why you failed the sip. Like
Right.
you know that the item one was not far enough out from the wall or ceiling, and the magnet beam is not on the right pixel and so on. It's a little bit too high or too low. But the Rockman and Forte is you don't know. You can sort of feel after a while that I probably pushed a little bit too early, and then you just have to try it again. And every attempt looks exactly the same until you suddenly.
Oh, and there's
the wall.
multiple ways to set it up too.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
And like from trying it, it seems like the wall, like it seems like the ice wall pushes you into the wall a couple times, and like you can either get in on the first try or the second. Like there's like you kind of wiggle back and forth a little bit. Like it was kind of confusing to like really understand what was happening.
But it will be covered in my tutorials that will come out
Nice.
2020.
Perfect.
2020. Everybody's gonna pick up Rockman Forte in 2020.
I discovered when I was practicing for ESA before I left that you can sip with treble as Forte as well. Like you don't need lightning bolt.
Oh,
So I was like, oh man, I'm gonna like try sipping in Dynamo Man stage like everywhere now. And then after a while, I was like, wait, why am I doing this? Why do I want to find more sips? This is just dumb. Even if I find places where it saves like, oh, it saves 10 seconds here, it's like it's almost not worth it.
just don't want this game to be any harder.
Has there been a Rockman and Forte task? I haven't actually looked.
Task, yeah. The task is silly. Like it's virtually unusable for
Right.
RTA because it's 90% inside walls or ceilings.
Well, you had done a
because-
theory test of it too, or no?
A long time ago. It
Yeah.
would be much better now
Yeah.
if I remade it.
I should probably look it up and have a watch through it because like it just seems
Yeah,
like that game would be so
they're-
broken and sort of like a.
They're very entertaining. I watched them multiple times, but yeah, it's as for looking up like strats for RTA, it's
Yeah.
not
Kind of like
in the
when you
same-
see a Mega Man 1 pass and it's just like brr, 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 all over the place. Like okay.
But when in Mega Man 1 you can still do some of those sips at least.
right.
Like you can look at the file and see, oh okay, he just places it at this pixel and then
Right.
it does these inputs. It doesn't work with Rockman Forte. You'll see if you watch the task, but the task way of getting into walls is like it's impossible. I have no idea how people figured out how to do it in RTA. Also, when you're tossed, you can actually move more freely inside the walls because
okay.
you have basically if you want to move inside a wall as Rockman without using lightning, you have to like do frame perfect taps or like mash the D-pad in one direction, and the toss makes it look like zipping when in
Right.
real time it would take like much long, like it would be much slower than just sliding across the floor or something.
Yeah, the better the tasks get, like the harder they are to use for RTA sometimes. Like a lot of like the older Mega Man 3 tasks are more useful for like finding RTA strats than the more newer ones that are better.
There are a couple of old Rockman and Forte tosses that I've watched and got some strats from at least. There's even like a zipless task that's like a 34 or something.
Oh.
I found on YouTube.
I've definitely done the same thing. I've found stuff from older tasks and utilized it. Tasks that are like slower than RTA now, which is really funny. Like, oh, look at this 39 task, and then you go, oh, there's actually some useful stuff in here. Okay.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried making a toss, like actual toss? It's really fun when you get into it.
Yeah, I've tasked like sections, but not not with the intention of doing an entire game.
That'd be terrible with it, to be honest.
I would pick a very like simple game first if you want to try making a toss, because if you have even like a slightly complex games like a Mega Man game where you have multiple weapons with energy and so on, like the branching possibilities just gets so complex after a while. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, what if I use these 2 energy here? And then I manipulate a drop later. Is that faster than using the 4 energy here?
Yeah,
So on.
it would be tough having to go back and just lose so much progress and start
Yeah.
over from an earlier point. But yeah, the end result of it is always really neat to look at, or even just like something simple like boss RNG manipulation. Like if you needed to do something earlier in the stage to because I don't know, I think the games handle RNG a little bit different as far as like what advances it. Sometimes it's really just a frame, and like you can like trying to get like perfect like turtles, for instance, in Mega Man 3, where like he's going to be on a set pattern when you enter the room. Like I'm not even sure how you would manipulate that. Like you'd probably have to kill the turtles slightly later, which is then suboptimal. But is there you always
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of things like drops is usually fine because you can just kill stuff a frame later and it would be just as fast, but you get a different drop and so on in most places. But yeah, going back and also going back and realizing, oh, I can just do this and it's 20 frames faster here. But then it changes everything after as well.
Yeah. But yeah, a lot of respect for the people that put in work tasking, because it's clearly just a lot of time and trial and error and stuff like that.
If you're tasking a game, I guess you want the RNGs to work like in Rockman 40 and Mega Man 7, where it's not frame based. It's very annoying for practice, but for tossing it would be heaven. Just like, oh, I need a different pattern on the boss. Let me shoot one more spread drill here.
Yeah, I mean, being frame based is kind of unfortunate in certain situations, but I like in 4 it's never really bothered me. I get to a stage, it's like, well, I'm gonna get a pattern or I'm gonna get not a pattern.
You have to get that music cue for Drill Man.
Someone get that manip.
Just play the game exactly the same and you'll get the same pattern. Easy.
There was.
Oh yeah, but wait a minute. In the NES games, it carries over between stages as well.
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's gonna be really tough then.
Yeah, I look at some of the manips in 9 and 10 and I get a little jealous.
There was a suggestion at one point to try to find a manip for square based on audio cue, and then everybody was like, "Oh yeah, it doesn't work like that way."
I was so mad because, like I said, in Rockman 40 it's not frame based. It's like different events that increases your RNG, and I was really like disappointed when one of those events are the rain in the intro stage, the rain that pushes you back. Every time it pushes you back, it increases the RNG. So after that screen, you have no idea. Otherwise, you could extend the manipulation like way into Cold Man stage, I would say. Maybe even for Cold Man.
The other ones have to do with like missing buster shots, or like, I forget what some of the other events are.
All right. Off the top of my head, there's like S40 is like firing the 40 buster increases the RNG. So that's a really simple way to like change the RNG. Spreading the spread rail, hitting an object, killing something that can drop something. I don't think taking damage with any of the characters are increasing the RNG. And then there's stage specific, like the rain in the intro stage. Every time a drill spawns in the intro stage, and some more stuff like that. It's really interesting, but it's so annoying that they had to put that rain in the first stage. You can't use it.
Otherwise, you end up with a game like Legend of Zelda, where like you kind of solve the RNG to some extent, and it really makes the speedrun pretty dynamic, where you're constantly tracking those type of things.
Yeah, like or like quick reset, like in the Battle Network games, where you reset the RNG every time you like reset the game, so they constantly save and quit because it's really fast to do it, and you know what RNG you're gonna get. It actually resets in Rockman 42, but it takes way too long. And you can't do it in the King stages because it just puts you back to King 1. So, meh. Silly game. Don't play it.
Just manipulate.
But you're gonna make a tutorial for it.
Sure. I was gonna do like a really like dumb strats tutorial. Like you wanna get a sub 50-minute run. Here you go. It's not hard. Just don't use counter attacker.
Yeah, I definitely found certain bosses easier without it when I played through it.
It's nice to have in case you get on low health by accident, but So I would probably, in that tutorial, I would probably say buy it anyways, but definitely prioritize like the energy balancer.
I was saying to the other guys the other weeks, like it was nice to see a Forte run again, obviously in a marathon that got
We were
in.
discussing before how there were 5 Mega Man runs and no slide.
Oh yeah, well, that's technically right. I also said like before I started my run, let's start the Mega Man block by not playing Mega Man.
Yeah.
Really good Mega Man block. I'm glad that ESA took so many games. It was fun to see like a legitimate Mega Man block.
It doesn't beat the 2014 Mega Man block though, in my opinion, but it was very close.
Yeah, the Mega Man 10 race was a great way to close it.
Yeah, that race almost like pushed it over for me, but oh man, that race.
Yeah.
It was good to see BT. Like he just really seemed to be enjoying himself. And whenever there's like a new runner on the stage, it's nice to see them, you know, because they can be pretty stressful doing your first runs.
Yeah, he said, and both he and Yarmer said, because apparently, I don't remember quite, but Yarmer's Mega 10 run in 2015 apparently was like pointing out. No, it was the X2 he did in 2014. He got kind of salty and pointed out some mistakes and so on, and then he said he wasn't gonna do that. He was gonna be like happy no matter what, and BT was the same way. It's like he didn't want to be salty no matter what, no matter the mistakes. Just have a good time.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
That really came
yeah.
across. So it was fun to see. Just a good vibe about the runs. Everyone just seemed like they were having fun. There's a really strong 9 and 10 community. Like the top runners there are very good about you know, helping newbies and sharing strats and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I trust you all guys kept up with Polaris commentary on Mega 2.
Oh my goodness. that man can I want to say somebody mentioned that Polari would make a good auctioneer. He was better as the run went on, I think. But when he first started, holy crap, man, he just like out of the gate, it was pretty impressive. I don't think I could have commentated that fast. It was pretty good.
I tried to like add things here and there, but I wasn't sure if he already said what I was saying. Like if I was repeating stuff because I couldn't keep up.
Yeah, that man knows Mega Man 2 really, really well. It's really cool to see him. He's picking up 4 now, so he's looking through it. He says he's got a skull fight that's faster than what we're doing right now. I haven't tried it yet, so we'll have to see.
He digs deep when he looks at a game. Like I definitely have taken some things from him in Mega Man 3 that are faster. Like he doesn't just take things for granted and do what everybody else is doing. Like he really, you know, tries to find his own way.
It's nice to finally have him in 4. I know he's already gone through like 2 and 3 and 5 and 6. So
if only he'd ever stream it.
Some people prefer not to stream. I mean, the hobbies are separate. They're just not the same.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely.
I think Dexter was talking a little bit about other Mega Man games as well on the way home. I was like, yeah, I wonder what kind of time I would get in Mega Man 2. And
Walking Mega always stays with Walking Mega.
No, he was talking about Mega Man 4. They tried running Mega Man 4 a while back, I remember, but we'll see.
That would be pretty neat.
How did you guys enjoy the zipless race, by the way?
Oh, baby.
To me, it felt like one of those things that sound good on paper before, but when I was, I don't know if I've watched too many Mega Man runs or something, but it felt kind of boring without zips.
I'm not really
much left.
Or 2 zipless. Like I respect the you know that they're, you know, people like them, and you know it's definitely a different type of tech, and there's some, you know, tough stuff.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Both of them. Yeah. But yeah, it's just not super interesting to me.
No, in like a showcase scenario, maybe not.
It's also tough in a race when someone dies in the first stage.
Yeah, and you realize very quickly that there's no way he's gonna catch.
It's hard. Yeah, it's hard to make that time up in something like Mega Man 1 zipless.
There's no zips that they can like magically get first try, and
no
suddenly be
RNG.
caught up. Exactly.
Yeah, that's a hard category to like. You basically have to expect that if you die, you're probably done, unless your opponent also dies.
We discussed this before though, but the feed had like the wrong name on it. So
Yeah, yeah,
we thought
Oh yeah, I
we
forgot
thought that
that
Cool
in
Kid had
my.
died on the first stage, and it's like, oh, okay, well that might make things
Mm.
really close, just given that
Uh,
PB is.
I forgot to add that on my feedback list actually. The like anytime there was like multiple people playing was like 50-50 was a wrong name, wrong feed. I'm gonna bring that up as well.
I don't think it really took away from the race itself or anything either. But
No, but I mean,
the
like if
Mega Man
you
1 was kind of funny because I was just like, oh man, Cool Kid died, and then Andy's like, ooh,
But
Cartina taking a death, and I was just like, wait, what?
yeah, and like I could see the TVs from where I was sitting, so I could see that I was wrong.
Right.
Turned around to Graku sitting behind me. It's like it's the wrong name. Can you tell them? It's like, oh, TMR already told them. So it's like from the very beginning they knew that the name was right. So from that point, I think it wouldn't be too hard to like just switch the names at least.
Right. Well, I mean, tech issues like are always gonna happen, and I honestly feel like if that's the worst of their issues
Oh
that they
yeah,
had, then that's probably all right.
yeah, like you mentioned at the top, like definitely a lot better than last year.
yeah. We had the 2 hour like delay for Batman race, where all the Batman runners sat in the couch and played Batman for 2 hours before the race started. That was something.
Yeah, your TV for Mega Man 7 was one of the highlights for me, but it probably wasn't so fun for you.
I, I don't know how many times I heard this year from tech guys like, oh, okay, this year we promise no broken TVs. Like from every tech guys. All right, I know. It's, it's not something I'm worried about.
Yeah. Jokaah, we are so sorry. Please come back.
Thank you, Jokaah, for joining us. That was really good. I know it's a pretty early recording time for most of us, but it was worth it.
That was fun. I'm
Yeah.
always up for talking Mega Man. I could drag on for at least 3 more hours.
Oh yeah.
That's the thing that I like about you most is just how like you're kind of like the center, like the figurehead of our community. Like you've been kind of running things here since I've been around, and you don't ever seem to get tired of it. Like you just love Mega Man and all the Mega Man polls and the Mega Man spreadsheets. Like I'm just really glad to have you around, and your work on everything is appreciated.
Oh yeah.
Thanks everybody for joining and listening. And yeah, we'll catch you all next week for another episode. Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.